Welcome to the second pilot episode of the gameplay series on this channel. This time I bring you Kano versus my all-red Dromai. The link to the decklist as well as my very first deck tag actually will be in the description and in the top right of the video as well probably. Same as in the last episode, let me know if there's anything you think I can improve on. That's all I have to say for the intro, so let's take a look at our players' starting hands. Jan's starting hand on Kano contains a red Ether Flare, red Voltic Bolt, red Rifting and a red Snapback. Pretty red for a Kano turn. Alex on Dromai has a red Billowing Mirage, red Veiled Intentions, red Sink Below and a red Whisper of the Oracle. Just as red as Dromai likes it to be. Our contestants roll the dice, Jan wins and decides to go first. He starts the match with a red Ether Flare pitching a red Voltic Bolt. Of the 3 arcane damage coming his way, Alex prevents one by pitching red for Arcane Barrier. That in turn also triggers Dromai and he creates an Ash token. He then takes 2 arcane damage, going to 18. Jan follows that up with a red Snapback, since he can now play it at instant speed due to its effect, pitching another red. Snapback now threatens 5 arcane damage as it deals 2 additional damage through Ether Flare. Not wanting to take all 5 damage, Alex pitches another 2 red cards. One to silence Stiletto's Arcane Barrier and one to Silken Form's Quell. He creates another 2 Ash tokens and then takes the remaining 3 damage, dropping to 15. Before the end of the turn, when Silken Form would be destroyed because of Quell, Alex uses its instant effect to turn 1 Ash token into an Ether Ashwing. We move to the cleanup step and both players refill their hands. On his turn, Alex plays a red Billowing Mirage, pitching a red, creating 1 Ash token and activating Storm of Zendikar. He then transforms that Ash token into an Ether Ashwing with Billowing Mirage's effect. In the reaction phase, Jan proceeds to overblock the 3 damage with a Fate Foreseen. He opts 1, doesn't like what he sees and puts it on the bottom. Alex then makes use of Billowing Mirage's Go Again and attacks for 1 with an Ether Ashwing that also has Go Again. With no blocks, Jan goes to 14 and another Ether Ashwing then comes to visit him as well. Before damage is dealt, Jan pitches a blue to activate Kano. He banishes a red Reverberate from the top of his deck, which he can play as an instant until end of turn. Reverberate then hits the field and is paid for by a red Zap. Alex prevents the 3 damage and thus Reverberate's triggered effect with a sand cover. It gives an Ash Ward 4 until end of turn, which is then destroyed in the process of soaking the damage. The second Ether Ashwing then finally deals 1 damage to Jan and he goes to 13. In the end step, Alex puts his remaining hand card into Arsenal and draws 4 cards. Back on Jan's turn, he proceeds to crack his Talismanic Lens to opt 2. He puts 1 on top and 1 on the bottom of his deck. Afterwards, he destroys Rope of Rapture, gaining 3 resources but losing his action point. As it is an instant ability, he activates Kano with his newly gained resources. A red Voltic Bolt is then banished and Crucible of Ether Weave activated, making his next arcane damage action deal 1 more. He pitches a blue to pay for it and uses the remaining 2 to play a Voltic Bolt that now deals 6 arcane damage. Alex isn't too keen on all of that damage and once again prevents 4 with his second sand cover. His Warding Ash token is then destroyed and he goes down to 13. Once more in the end step and with no remaining hand cards, Jan draws 4, then passes to Alex. Alex flips his Arsenal card onto the combat chain and reveals it to be a Dunebreaker Centipede with 5 attack, Go Again, and he also activates Storm of Zendikar with it. Pitching a red to pay for it, he also triggers Dromai to create a brand new Ash token. Soon at least. With his immense luck, Jan has the remaining attack action with 6 attack in his hand and blocks with it. Since Dunebreaker Centipede has Phantasm, it is then destroyed and deals no damage and there is no Go Again. Since his turn was forcefully ended, Alex puts a card into Arsenal, draws 3 to have a full hand and passes to Jan. Jan activates Crucible of Ether Weave by pitching a blue Snapback, which is followed by a blue Voltic Bolt, now dealing 4 arcane damage. Alex, once more, doesn't want to take all of it and pitches a red Phoenix Flame to activate Arcane Barrier, creating an Ash token while he's at it. Damage is dealt and Alex is now at the halfway point, 10 life. Going to the end phase, Jan gets his first Arsenal card of the match, draws 4 and passes the turn. Alex, with his pretty low 10 HP, staring down his opponent, still with 13, begins with a red Scar for a Scar with Go Again. Of course, Storm of Zendikar is also activated. Jan's luck just won't run out, and in the reaction step he reveals another Fate Foreseen, blocking all of the damage. He opts one and puts it on the bottom. Ending the combat chain, a red Skittering Sands then enters the arena and Alex transforms his Ash token into an Ether Ashwing with +3 attack until end of turn. As it has Go Again, he then plays a red Blaze Headlong from Arsenal with 4 attack and also Go Again active. Did I mention before just how lucky a single person can be? In the reaction step, Jan then proceeds to play a red Sink Below to prevent all of the damage yet again. On the next chain link, a beefed up Ether Ashwing with Go Again then comes his way for 4 damage. Jan blocks that with an Iron Rod Gauntlet and finally takes 3 damage, going to 10. The third chain link then sees another Ashwing with Go Again, this time with 1 attack. Jan drops to 9. The fourth chain link repeats the third and Jan takes 1 more, dropping to 8. And finally on the fifth chain link, Alex drops a Lava Burst, which is unfortunately blocked by a glare effect, but that's only visually. Since it has Rupture and is played as chain link 4 or higher, it buffs itself, now dealing 5 damage to Jan, who firmly wants to keep his 3-card hand. And just like that, the tides have turned and Jan is now at 3 life, while Alex is at 10. In the end step there is a lot of cleanup to do and Alex draws a full grip of 4. Jan's turn sees a red Scalding Rain hit the battlefield as he pitches a red Rousing Ether to pay for it. Ignore the dice that's been lying there for half a century now. Oh, thank you, me, for cleaning that up. Begrudgingly looking at 4 arcane damage and his rather low life total, Alex activates Arcane Barrier, pitching a red and gaining a second Ash token. Unfortunately for him, he still takes damage and is now at 7. Jan then cleans up, puts his last hand into Arsenal and draws 4. Back on his turn, Alex plays a red Ravenous Rebel with natural Go Again. He reveals the top card of his deck to Rebel's trigger and is finally super duper mega lucky as well, as he reveals a red Dust Up in his all red deck. With this, Ravenous Rebel now attacks for 4. Jan answers that by pitching a blue to activate Kano and banishes a red Ether Flare. He pitches another blue to activate Kano once more, banishing a blue Reverberate. Then plays the banished Ether Flare to threaten 3 arcane damage that also buffs his next arcane spell by however much Ether Flare is dealt. To do that he pitches a red Lead the Charge. Alex, as always, prevents 1 arcane damage, pitching a red, gaining a 3rd Ash token and then takes the 2, dropping to 5. Jan follows that up with his now 3 damage dealing blue Reverberate and pitches another red Lead the Charge to pay for it. As Jan gambled a bit too high on this turn, Alex now knows that there's nothing left to fear and the match is won. He takes 3 damage, dropping to 2. Ravenous Rebel then deals 4 damage to Jan and he loses his remaining HP. I think you can see a post-game talk that shows that Jan would have lost even had he used all his cards to block because of the red Rake the Embers in Alex's arsenal and of course the Lava Burst he used to pitch for the 1 AB. But oh boy, that was a damn close game with both players dropping within an inch of their life. And I have to say, while Kano starts off with only 15 life, he consistently shows off why that actually was the right game design choice in my opinion. With that said, I hope you had fun with this gameplay episode. Let me know what you think I can improve on, if there is anything. And if you would consider it, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoyed what you see. Because there will be a lot more budget deck tech videos for all kinds of formats and of course gameplay episodes coming your way. But for now, take care of yourselves and I hope to see you in the next video. Jan follows that up with his now 3 damaging blue Reverberate and pitches another red Lead the Charge to pay for it. As Jan gambled a bit too high on this turn, Alex now knows that there's nothing left to fear and the match is won. He takes the 3 damage, dropping to 2. Ravenous Rebel then deals 4 damage to Jan and he loses his remaining HP.